upset.
Yeah.
And it didn't turn out as bad as I thought it was going to turn out. So I still thank God because, like Brother Reed was saying, sometimes it ain't even about faith. It's about giving God the glory. That's my point. Because I was upset just when I started praising God. Because we was listening to gospel music anyway. But when I started praising God, everything just all the worries, the worry about the ticket and all that kind of stuff, they lifted off of me. Because I started giving God praise.
I was coming through, they've been advertising the state troopers and police, they're cracking down on people not wearing seatbelts. Now, my daughter will tell you I'm notorious for not wearing seatbelt. Based on the time I wear a seatbelt is when she drives. That's about the only time I wear a seatbelt. And so I'm coming through the turnpike toll. I saw the state troopers over there, and the lady walked out and she said, "Slow down." I wasn't doing 25, but I wasn't doing 50 either going through the toll booth. So I slowed it down, and she walked up to the window. She said, "Pull over." And she was grumpy. You don't never mess with a state trooper, especially as a woman with a gun on. I pulled over, and she said, "You know you don't have your seatbelt on." I said, "Yes, ma'am. My apologies." I said, I just didn't put it on. I do apologize. I said, "So whatever you got to do, I know you're doing your job, and I appreciate the work that you do." I said, "So, whatever you want to do." She said, "Give me your license and registration." So I gave her my license and registration. She saw I had CDLs. She said, "I ought to give you this $110 ticket." I said, "Yes, ma'am, if that makes you feel like you're doing your job, I'll accept that $110 ticket." She looked at me. She said, "Just stay in the car for a minute." She went back. She went back and came back, and she said, "Listen, I don't know why, but I'm gonna give you a break. I need you to just photocopy your insurance card and send it in. I'm just gonna give you a warning for not having your insurance card." Well, she had the insurance card, and she said, "Just photocopy this and send it in." I said, "Yes, ma'am." I said, "I really appreciate it." I said, "You know what? And I pray that you be especially safe because there's a lot of crazy people out there." I said, "I think you all do, for the most, you do a great job." I said, "Have a safe and great day." Now what went on right there?
That's what you should have did.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Listen, first thing, why would I get upset when the officer was doing her job? I was wrong. The best thing for me to do is be calm, keep it in perspective, not get an attitude towards her because then I'm looking at the ticket. And the thing is, I was wrong. I was wrong. So I didn't need to get an attitude. I didn't need to get upset. Regardless of the outcome, I was wrong. So my thing is, Lord, you know what? I'm not going to take it out of this office. I'm going to compliment that person because they're doing their job. That's what she was doing, her job. I mean, she wasn't but that tall, and she was about that wide, but she had that gun and that badge on, which made her the law, all right? Well, you was in Georgia. You really shouldn't get nobody no problem in Georgia. Yeah. So, but the thing is, and I just thank God, $10 in the morning. I need to send that thing off. I ain't sent it off yet. All right. But again, here's what the enemy wants you to do. The enemy wants you to get upset and handle it the wrong way. Because when we handle things the wrong way, we're not giving God glory. When we're acting outside of God's permissive will or his perfect will, then we're not giving God the glory. So when you're talking about praising God, there's many ways to praise God. Praise God with your attitude, even how you accept the things that you go through. You're praising God, you're giving him the glory. Why? Because I'm trusting you, God, to work this out for me. What y'all two going on right there?
Oh, I just told her self-control. That's all I said.
That's all he said. I'm going to separate y'all. I am. I'm going to separate y'all. And so it's not what the enemy throws at you. It's how you handle what the enemy throws at you. I was teaching in my sermon in North Carolina. And I don't even remember the word that God gave me to give you all. Remember you all wrote it down about your what was that I gave you all?
This Sunday just passed?
Yes.
Our inner, I want to say it correctly.
And see, when God inspires me to say something, I say it to them. But I think tonight that you might need to hear that and jot it down as well.
Your inside expectation should always outweigh your outside experience.
Your inside expectation should always outweigh your outside experience. What I expect from God should be a constant. What I go through, I'm not going to let it interfere with my expectation. Sometimes we have this great expectation, and then all of a sudden we start going through something, we lose that expectation. And here's what really expectation is. I lose that hope, which goes over here. Then I lose that faith because I'm starting looking downward on myself. So always make sure that what's inside does not get diminished by what you're going through outside. Because there are days, there's some rainy days outside where you don't see the sun. There's some cloudy days. There's some tumultuous times outside. But he said, my peace I give unto thee, not as the world giveth. I'm going to give you something that will stand in place of all of what you're going through, everything the adversary is throwing at you. I don't care how long you're going through. Look how long Job went through. But guess what? His expectation. That's what you got to hold on to. That has to be in every Christian. Every Christian child of God should have an inner expectation about what God can do, what he will do, and what they hope him to do. I don't care what's going on outside. I got to expect inside. And when you lose that, you start letting your outside experience change your inside expectation. And all of a sudden now, it takes away your joy. It takes away your peace. It takes away your contentment. It takes away your hope. And it starts to destroy your life, one piece at a time. That's how you can go through and still have the joy of the Lord, because of your inside expectation. I don't know how you're going to do it, God, but I know you're going to do it. I don't know when you're going to do it, God, but I know you're going to do it. My inside expectation, keep it alive. Don't let your outside experiences, that police pulling you, it changed you for a minute. What you did was allow an outside experience to change your inside expectation. And for a moment, you fell back into your flesh. It happens. That's why man ought to always pray. Why? Because we need to keep that inside expectation alive. I was preaching, all of a sudden the Lord gave me that word to give to the church, and I gave it to them. Because you never know what you're going to go through.
Your inside expectation should always outweigh your outside experience.
What I expect from God is always greater than what I'm going through, is what I'm saying. And so you got to harness this thing. That's what causes an individual to go through their day. You can be hurting. You can get a bad report from the doctor. You could be Sister Harvey with a stroke, but yet and still, I won't let my inside expectation be diminished by my outward experience. I don't care what you're going through. Why do you think that I've gone through so many different surgeries and stuff like that, and it don't bother me? Why? Because my inside expectation is always greater than my outside experience. I'm going to trust you, God. I'm going to trust you to do it for me. And if you don't do it, I still know you're able. That's word. But until we believe that word and accept that word and stand on that word, even if I have to end up with this thorn in my flesh and you don't remove it, I still know you're able. You see, that's what we got to get to as Christians. Every day is not going to be Sunday. We're going to get sick sometime. We're going to go through some stuff sometime. Guess what? We're going to lose family members sometime. But guess what? Our inside expectations should always outweigh our outside experience. Always. It's going to stop raining after a while. Eventually it will. Question, statement. So that's what I'm trying to get you all to understand. Until this thing is internal, it won't really be real externally. If it turns off and on like a faucet, then who's turning the faucet? You see, God's joy wants to be complete in our life. That means whether I'm having a good day or a bad day, I'm still going to give you glory. Whether I'm going through or being drugged through, I'm still going to give you glory. Even though I walk through the valley in the shadow of death, I'm going to give you glory. If I'm sick and don't know whether I'm going to ever get well, I give you glory. And that's where it has to be. Yes, sir, Brother Rick.
Your outward experience, you know, the Bible says it's not what goes into a man's body that defiles him, but it's what comes out of the man that defiles him. So in other words, by you watching what you said to this police officer and how you acted outwardly, kind of like diffused her.
I didn't even think about it.
It might have made her think.
But you know what? I didn't even think about it, Rick. I didn't even think about getting angry. I was wrong, officer. I apologize. The first thing I did was admit I was wrong. I mean, I didn't have my seatbelt on. And I've been hearing the advertisements on them. Buckle up. They're buckling down. They're cracking down on people without seatbelts. Yeah, no, I ain't get no ticket, no. I just got to mail in that little my insurance card that she said I didn't have. She said just take a photocopy and mail it in.
Hey, you know, somehow you be getting through these little nooses. I don't know how you do it, but you know.
Take the Lord along with you everywhere you go. That's a church song. You're going to need him, you're going to need him. All right. You see, that's what all the church song was about. Somebody went through something. They say, take the Lord along with you everywhere you go. And so, but you know what? My thing is this. I'm excited about God every day, regardless of what I go through. So here, I didn't put on anything. I was just not upset, not angry, and complimented the officer for the job they do. Sometimes when I stop by Dunkin' Donuts and the officer's there getting a cup of coffee, something, I pay for the coffee. I don't know him. And he'll say, well, thank you. Why'd you do that? I said, well, you know what? Not all officers are bad. I said, there's a lot of good guys out there, but you get classified with a few bad ones. And I want to say thank you, but you need to be, you know, I know you guys got to be, you don't know who's stupid out there or not. So just be careful and treat everybody with the same respect that you want to be treated. And he said, well, I appreciate it. He said, good word, good word. You know, I go places specifically that the Lord leads me. You know, that's just that simple. I ask God every day to send me someplace to give somebody a word that's going to help them, bless them, or calm them down.
And that's where, but you said that officer probably made a big difference in his thought because he probably so used to, you know how they always put cops down? Mm-hmm. And what you said to him that morning probably like lifted the weight off his shoulders.
Not all officers, not all policemen are bad.
No, they're not.
Sheriffs either, right, Evangelist Lee? We got some good sheriffs in town. But the thing is, sometimes we have an attitude toward law enforcement because of something that may have happened prior, because of what we've seen on TV. You know what? If I get pulled someplace, and I haven't gotten pulled except that one time there, she just said pull over in a long time. But listen, I treat them with respect. They asked me for something. Oh, I did get pulled. DOT pulled me in Okeechobee. And I thought the man was made a U-turn and pulled up in front of me and pulled over side of the road. I thought he was going to pick something out of the road. He got out of the car and walked around. I'm saying, I don't see nothing in the road. And all of a sudden, I saw what was in the road. I was in the road. He did this and did this, you know. He asked for my license, registration, my DOT card, insurance card for the truck. And He walked around the truck. He checked the depth gauge on my tires. He had me pump the brakes down so if the buzzer come on. He had me put it in reverse so the backup signal come on. He had put headlights on, signal lights on. And he gave me a warning for one thing. He said, any truck that's 26,000 GVW only needs one tag. He said, but anything that is 26,001 pound needs a tag in the front and a tag in the back. I said, wow, sir, I never knew that. He said, well, I didn't think you did. He said, that's something your company should have known. He said, listen, I'm just going to give you a warning, have them fix this, and just sign it and send it on in. I said, yes, sir. He said, listen, you have a great day. He said, be safe on the road. I said, yes, sir, you too. Point blank. Again, why get an attitude?
And you know what? Why would the company know that?
Sir?
Why would the company know that? 'Cause I drove trucks and I did the same thing. I wonder why they wouldn't even address that.
Well, that's a commercial law. We don't really set a commercial law. That's
Right, exactly.
yeah. We don't know that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they address that?
But the average company, when they DOT certified, they supposed to know all the rules and regulations.
Yeah, but on the
They don't know about it.
but the DOT, we don't really read all the DOT.
I'm talking
You
company supposed to do it.
yeah.
Depending on violation,
That's what I'm saying. Companies
Yeah.
they supposed to know all that.
Yeah. So it's a lot of little things out there, but again, here's my point. It's not what happens to you, it's how you handle what happens to you. So if you wake up in the morning, see, the first thing I ask God is give me his peace. I don't know what's going to happen throughout that day, but give me his peace. You know, I don't know what you're going to do that day, Lord, but give me peace. Regardless, I mean, I never know where they're going to send me when I go to work because they'll send me anywhere. My problem is, no problem. Lord, give me your peace. Because people are watching our lives. And then people come up to you, and I'll say this, and we're about out. The new supervisor came in today. He's from Miami because our regular supervisor went on vacation. And all the guys are coming and asking me what to do. I said, ask him. He's the supervisor. And so they asked him, and he looked over, and he came over to me. He said, Mike, well, what do you want to do? I said, I ain't the supervisor. You are. I said, you tell them. He said, but you know who runs what? I said, yes. And so he said, well, what do you want to do? And so I started giving direction for the guys to load this on that truck. And I said, well, he knows that area better. Let him run that. And he came over to me afterwards. This is the guy that nobody wants to talk to. He came to me out. He said, I really appreciate it. He said, you didn't just kind of look at me funny like most people do. I said, you know, you're not a bad guy. I said, your problem is you don't know how to talk to people. I said, you talk at them and not to them. Your communication skills need to be worked on. He said, well, what do you mean? I said, you're not a people person. I said, a supervisor has to deal with people. That's what makes your job easier. And so a 5-minute conversation turned into a 15-minute conversation because he's asking me how to better communicate to people. He said, you don't have a problem with it. I said, I enjoy people. I said, you know, you enjoy your job. There's a difference. So a lot of that is, you see, we're planted even on jobs for certain reasons. We don't know who we're supposed to be a blessing to. You know, and the first thing they asked me, well, why don't you become supervisor? I said, no, Tony's a supervisor. He's been with this company for 21 years. I'm not going to be here that long. I said, I'll help him. They offered me his job when I first came there. And I said, no. I said, I'll be his biggest help. I'll help him be the best supervisor that he can be, but I won't take his job. I said, he's given you 21 years of his life. I'm only going to give you 2 or 3. I won't do that. And the gentleman out of Miami looked at me. He said, of all my years I've been in management, I've never heard somebody say that. He said, you must be a Christian. I said, yes, sir. I am. You see, you infect people and you affect people by the way you live, by the way you talk, by the way you operate. I don't do that because I'm Pastor Harvey. I do it because I'm a Christian. Every one of us have that same obligation to show Christ through our life, through our words, through our actions. Grow to the point where you don't let little things mess with you. Grow to the point where you don't let confusion just seep into your being and cause you not to be the best person you can be. Grow to the point where you ask God to give you a word, a kind word, to turn away wrath because we have a world that's so divided now with stupid. God, give me a word that turns away wrath. And so there's some good people out there. You just haven't met them. But the enemy doesn't want you to hook up with other good people. The enemy wants you to feel like everybody out there got an issue, and so you have to have one. No, you don't. You're a peacemaker because you're called of God to bring peace out of confusion. And if you're going to bring peace out of confusion, peace got to first lie within you. All right? Amen? Amen. Any final question?
Yeah, we're going to get down to the self-control.
Beg pardon?
Self-control. We're going to get to the self-control.
Not tonight. You see how I handle self-control? That's not tonight.
You just was talking about self-control anyway.
I've been talking about it. He missed it. I just didn't address it directly. Yeah. Y'all stop jumping on my nephew like that. I declare, ma'am. Oh, okay. She asserting her womanhood. All right. You can talk to her about Adam and Eve when you go home, all right? No, but all of that, all of this was intertwined into that, Brother Ray.
Yeah, I was just trying, you know.
Didn't you hear me say we're finna get out and you're going to just try something?
Yeah, just trying.
See, you didn't use self-control. Moving right along, all right? We're going to ask our deacon to take up our offering.